Every single time I posted a picture, people would inevitably comment and they would say, Mary, you're aging in reverse. You look younger today than you did at age 50. And I really did, as I began to claim that health, that wellness, that fitness, that being active, that what it's like to really embrace myself physically. I really began aging in reverse. And it was true. This year, when I turned 69 and I did some, the memories pop up and I looked back, I finally had to say, that honeymoon is kind of over. It's no longer going on. I had 19 years of aging in reverse, but there comes a time when my skin is looking different. My hair, heaven forbid, that's why I wear wigs, is because it's brittle, it's thin, it's changed texture, it's aging. And my arthritis is so much worse. There was a time, if you just look at my podcast back from the beginning, like nearly 4 years ago, when I would talk with my hands, and you can see how different my arthritis looked then. And now, every time I'm talking with my hands, I think, put those hands down. They look horrible. So if I'm not aging in reverse anymore, how do I age gracefully moving forward? By putting this goal out there all the time of, I'm living to 105 with an option to renew. Anything less would seem a failure to me and seemed a failure to others who were around me. And I didn't want that to happen. And then I began to experience chronic pain. And that was keeping me from living any present moment to the fullest. So if I was focused on 105 way out there, what about the joys of today? What if I lived to be only one more year, 70? Will that not have still been 70 wonderful years of loving, of giving, of learning more about myself, exploring, offering gifts to others? I still will have lived life to the fullest. And if I only focused on living to 105, there was no space for gratitude for the present. And I hope to shout, I am so grateful for my entire life that brought me to this point. Not even just the last 19 years where I was aging in reverse. Not just grateful for those, but all the things that led up to that point. Those all make up who I am. But 6 months ago, things began to really take a downhill turn with my physical wellness. I had knee pain. I couldn't sleep at night. I put a pillow between my knees. Still hurt all the time. I had back pain that woke me up all night long. I felt like I was becoming less active and less active. Here I'd started out the year with, learning to play golf and pickleball with John. And I was like, wow, doing things I'd never done before. John taught me how to catch a ball. In my whole life, I'd never caught a ball. Seriously, my dad never played catch with me, even though he and my brother were phenomenal baseball players. We've been practicing on catching a ball, and I actually can catch a ball out of the middle of the air. Now I'm moving on to throwing the ball. I've never thrown a ball, but I'm going to do that this year. Learn how to throw a ball. But when I was having all of these problems in my body, I also began to feel that they were bringing on a tremendous amount of depression. I even began pushing John away because I didn't want him to have to deal with any of this pain that I was dealing with. And I had no long-term plans of climbing another mountain because I didn't know if I would be able to. And even though I had started great activities in the spring, through the summer I began to kind of let them go because I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep it up. And this kind of heavy depression set in. Is this all there is? Maybe. Well, I'm glad I was crafting a meaningful life up until now, at least, so I could be grateful for that. But what else is out there? What else is possible? What are the lessons to learn now? So I decided I wanted to go on and start on a new journey of healing in all 4 areas: my emotional healing, my mental healing, my spiritual healing, and my physical healing. So first I took an inventory of what skills had I already gained through all of these life experiences that were now with me that could help me in this new journey of aging gracefully and healthily. Well, I thought, one thing I know I've got is resilience. I've got that ability to bounce back. Remember how many times I've talked to you about being the clown doll that's punched in the face and you fall over, but you bounce right back up. And I knew I have that. Something can happen to me and I can bounce back. Don't forget about that, Mary. You're a resilient person. And I began to reclaim that gift for a few months I'd forgotten that I had. Another one is knowledge. In these 69 years, I've gained a tremendous amount of knowledge about healthy living, being active, about eating right, about herbs, about all sorts of different things. I have that knowledge. Did I think I forgot it all? No. I just need to re-look at it. And I have a tremendous amount of resources. So many of my friends are in healing modalities. So many of just being able to Google something on the internet. I had, there was a pain clinic in Salt Lake that was offering some pain things. And I was able to look at their website and say, okay, miracle here, need to go here. And I checked in with my spinal doctor and he said, Mary, I'm not sure there are really anything out there. There's anything out there that I don't know about. So as you research this, will you reach back out to me if you think you find something new and let's talk about it before you jump off there and spend $10,000, $20,000. I'm like, okay. But I didn't even have to do that. All I did was Google it and then keep Googling it before the ads, after the ads, to where you get down to the unsponsored stuff and start reading real patient reviews and start seeing about what this really is. And was there really healing for me there? So there's so many resources out there as we begin to think about how we can heal our lives. And also one of the skill sets I have is I have an open heart. I have an open heart to be able to receive inspiration on what is my path and how to do it. I have an awareness that's a gift to me that I've given myself. So I decided I wanted to start on this healing process. We talked about aging, so how's the healing from aging coming? I wanted a holistic approach. And by holistic, I mean that I wanted to use Western medicine, Eastern medicine. I wanted to try whole different things with my medical doctors that I already trust. I now have a new doctor, an osteopathic doctor, because osteopaths are definitely Western medicine doctors, but they use a holistic approach. So they have different healing modalities that they use, such as chiropractic. And I haven't gone to chiropractors for such a long time. Could there be something that could be done to lessen the severity of the angles on the stenosis in my back? I have moderate stenosis, and the first time I saw an x-ray of my back, as I was walking out of the x-ray room, I said, wow, whose back is that? That's really bad. And they said, oh, that's yours. What? It's like, well, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me until I've just began researching new ways to heal. What about that? Could they be helping with that? Maybe. My awareness of these different things is helping me find new modalities for healing and for managing chronic pain. So some of the Eastern modalities that you may be less familiar with, and that I'm probably less familiar with many of them, but that I'm really going to focus on is, for example, acupuncture or acupressure. I remember when I had my first child, I couldn't even move out of bed. My pain was so bad. And I actually did go to an acupressure guy. And within 2 visits, that pain was completely gone and really never came back. I'm going to look into that. What about Reiki and Qigong, which keep the energy flows going in your body, that keep not only your blood vessels and your blood and your cell reconstructions going in your body, but look at the energy, your very essence of energy. Is it flowing in your body, or does it stop somewhere? And can they clear those energies so you can reflow again? I know that some of these are real things because I've experienced them in my body. I've just never thought to use them on these chronic pain areas that Western medicine said to me, yeah, that's how it is. And it's your lot in life. I'm going to do something different. I was researching cranial massage. I'm like, wow, what's that? So I began researching it. And by manipulating the plates in your skull and in your brain and getting the energy and blood flow to shift more to the frontal lobe, that it can completely change the amount of energy flow, electricity that flows throughout your body. Stay tuned as I try that one. I think that could be amazing. And none of these things I'm doing things that are going to hurt me. I'm not going to go into some electrocution chamber and allow electricity to be shot through my body at some crazy voltage. Not that. But can I shift my energy? Can I? One of the greatest tools I know I'm going to be using is meditation. You and I have talked about meditation so many times and the values and the lessons and the gifts that it has given me. Is it time now for me to start meditating on my physical body and healing myself? Those things that we have just accepted as our lot in life. Really? Can I meditate through that? Can something be shown me? I remember in one of my meditations that I received the command to step into life. What about stepping into healing? What if that meant stepping in to freeing myself from chronic pain? Visualization. I totally believe in visualization. If you visualize something, you are so much more likely to create it in your life than if you visualize death and doom. I don't want that. I don't want that. Because as we know about disease, and the word disease comes from dis-ease with our body. I've always thought I had conquered that piece of the dis-ease I felt with my body. But now that I'm experiencing some of these aging things, these chronic pain things, maybe there's more to do there. Maybe there's more to do with healing the dis-ease with my body and become more loving and accepting. Maybe to go back and practice some of those practices that I had done years ago when I started on this journey, and standing naked in front of a mirror and just holding myself and forcing myself to look there for 5 minutes, and then do it every day for at least 3 days, and each day becoming more accepting of where I am in life and the phase that I'm in, and feeling comfortable and letting go of my dis-ease and accepting the ease of aging and the ease of healing my body. So what I'm committed to now is to create that free energy flow to giving and receiving, to releasing what doesn't work for me, and to feeding my body with what does. I'm going to age gracefully. And yes, I'll have more wrinkles. And yes, I'll have more saggy skin. And I may have some pain here and there. But I can heal it. I'm going to give you an example of how this happened to me this morning. This morning while I was writing this podcast, I was sitting in my usual chair in my office, and I was writing away, and I went to kind of shift, and I lifted up and pulled my leg over into a different position. And immediately I was struck with that chronic pain that hits in my knee. I was like, ow! And I grabbed onto it and tightened up like, ah. I'm like, wait. Let's try it. Let's keep the energy flow. If something happens, just try releasing instead of holding in the pain and tightening up. And I just looked down at my knee and I went. I reached down with my hand and rubbed it, caressed it, accepted it. And within seconds, the pain was gone. Is that going to happen every time? I don't know. But it happened once. And that was enough for me to go on. So what I'm looking for and what I'm drawing into my life, after dealing with aging and after dealing with healing, how I'm going to heal, the process to come to peace. That's the last piece. I think that piece of whatever phase of life you are in is what we seek for. You know, when I was in that part of being crazy and, raising my family and trying to have a business and being a businesswoman and providing for my family and a crazy husband at home and all sorts of things, I was definitely at dis-ease. Do you not think I'm paying for some of those, their repercussions? Maybe. All the years I stood on my feet on hard concrete floors? Maybe. But can I stop that now? Can I bring more ease and peace into my life? 100% I can. Yep. It comes down to kind of accepting what is. And not trying to look into that pasture. Well, the pasture is definitely greener over there, and they're older than I am. Or how about this pasture over here? They were never overweight. They never had to deal with those problems. And this is where I am. I'm stuck. Oh my gosh, if that word stuck comes out of your mouth, you know you probably are. It's time to get unstuck. It's time to accept where we are. Peace comes from this one big principle, and I want you to understand this big principle. Peace comes from being accountable for my own well-being. Not blaming my parents, not blaming my past, but being accountable. And this is the biggest reason for my growth in the last 2 weeks. I went and I requested an MRI. So I had an MRI done. And it revealed that there was a cyst behind this knee. And I remember feeling that cyst just inflate like a balloon when I was in Ukraine. And I rode in those vans for 9 hours at a time, cramped up in the back. And one day I just like, oh my gosh, what is that pain behind my knee? I've never had that before. It was a cyst. So they drained it. They put a little steroid in there. It felt better. And then in the same MRI I had them do on my back, I discovered there were 2 cysts on the back of my spinal column. Yeah, they were causing me so much pain when I tried to do strength training. I kept thinking, do I have to give this up? I love to lift weights. And when they drained those cysts, that pain was gone. So be proactive. Be accountable for where you are. Reach out, make a difference. Even after all of that, I still had pain in this knee. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make an appointment with an orthopedic guy. And let's just see what he has to say. So I made an appointment. I went in. They took x-rays that day as well as the MRI. And he put them up on the wall in the holders while I was in there, and we looked at them. He looked at them and he said, well, I don't really see a lot of arthritis or calcium growth. And he's looking around at him. And I said, oh, that's good. He goes, but you still have arthritis. No, okay. And he said, you have a little degeneration in your cartilage. But that's just part of aging. Oh, yeah, okay. You have a tear in your meniscus over here, but it's a small tear. Probably came from straining it too much while you were hiking. I said, okay. And he said, so there's not really much here for me to do. I said, okay. And in essence, what he said to me was, Take 2 aspirin and come back in 5 years for a knee replacement. And as I was sitting there, I literally felt emotionally and mentally him just hand me this ball back. I can't do anything for you. Your healing, your well-being is in your hands. And when I took a hold of that ball, at first I was like, that's it? But I began to hold my hands like this as I left the doctor's office. As I got back into my car, I sat there and I could feel this energy pulsating between my hands and through my hands. And I began to smile with so much gratitude. Thank you for giving me the ball back to me, because I shouldn't have let go of it in the first place. I want to be responsible for my own healing and what I create, not some doctor. I want to be responsible. And if I don't do anything, who's accountable for that? Me. But if I do something, who's accountable for that? Me. If you've been giving your health ball to other people and they're helping, that's great. Hold the ball together. But if you haven't been getting help, take it back and just sit with it. Sit with it for long periods of time in meditation of how you can be accountable for what's happening in your life. And you will be influenced on what to do next. Your body will speak to you. I'm telling you, your body wants to be well. It doesn't want to be sick. It doesn't want to be at dis-ease. It wants to be at ease. Your body will teach you. It's been teaching me. I'm loving this. I love that I can claim the law of attraction. Many of you know this as what's known as the secret. But the law of attraction is what? Not that I'm attracted to you and you're attracted to me. No. The law of attraction is you get what you focus on. What you want and where you put your energy and your sight and your vision is what you are going to draw into your life. I know this one principle more than I know about anything else. I knew the kind of love and relationship I wanted, and I drew John into my life. I knew what kind of path forward I wanted after culinary crafts and retiring, and I drew it into my life. I knew I wanted to write a book to share some of these things with others. It's coming out in October, like in just a couple weeks. You can buy it. I'll tell you all about it when it happens. When I knew one of the most important things with me was to have a loving relationship with my daughter, my sons, my family, my grandchildren, my in-laws, I focused on it and I drew it into my life. Why would things be any different with healing my physical body? I'm holding my ball right now. Even now, I can feel it between my fingers and my hands. And I love holding it. I want to hold it. And I am healing myself. I am attracting the things into my body and into my health and into my energy flow that can allow me peace and to age gracefully and to be healed. Who's in charge of my healing, my experience, my peace? Me. Who's in charge of your healing, your peace? You. I want each of you to hold your own ball. I haven't let go of mine because I don't want to drop it right now. It's very full in my hands. And if you have given it to someone else, ask for it back, or can you put your hands on it and share it and walk together? If you've never given your ball or been aware of your power in healing yourself, never too late. Remember my 2 favorite things? It's never too late. And nothing is impossible. So what do you say we get a hold of our balls? We hold on to them. We check them. we become at ease with ourselves. We heal ourselves. And that, my friends, is how we craft a meaningful life. Until next time, namaste.
Listen to the full podcast today and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. Crafting a Meaningful Life with Mary Crafts.